Hey everybody, I'm just waiting for my special guest to join me before we get started here on the second edition of the TheCnote. Waiting for him to come on in now. Should be with you shortly. All right. Okay. Just waiting for my special guest.
Hey,
Coming. There he is right there. How
how
you
are
doing,
you?
brother? I'm great.
Okay,
Great.
let me just make an adjustment here.
Yeah, great to see you.
Yeah. Okay, all set.
Hey. Hey everyone. Welcome to the second edition of the TheCnote, where the real recognize real, and we also see those fake asses out there too. I like to say. But I want to introduce everyone to this talented brother right here. He goes by the name, or his real name, as he wanted me to tell everybody, is Dana Freeman, but he goes by the name of D. Martin. He is from Ansonia, Connecticut, and he has a degree in accounting, and he has been recording music for 6 years, I believe. So, everybody, without any further ado, here we have Mr. D. Martin. How are you, brother, today?
I'm good. I'm hanging in there. Yeah,
Hanging in there?
you said it
Yeah,
well. Thank you. Thanks for the introduction.
thank you. I know what you mean by hanging in there. We're going to
Oh
talk
yeah,
about
yeah,
that a little bit later.
yeah. We'll get
Um,
into that.
but yeah, somewhere in the middle.
Hmm.
But in your bio, you said that you've been recording for 6 years, correct?
Yeah. So
Okay.
I've been in going to the studio for like throughout my life during the past 6 years, and my main objective was really just to build myself and to perfect my craft and just to just for the experience and everything. It wasn't necessarily, it was just getting myself prepared for like
Hmm.
the moment now where I'm actually working on an album. So yeah,
Okay.
just yeah, I've been recording, I've been taking singing lessons for the past 6 years, just really trying to perfect my craft and just be the best artist I can be.
Cool. So I know, like most of us, black artists, me being an actor and a singer and everything as well, most of us grew up with the church thing in our
Oh yeah,
background.
yeah.
So did you grow up singing in church?
I
Or
didn't grow up
love that?
singing in church, but I was raised in the church. And my
Rhythm.
father was actually the deacon in the church, and he was in the
Mhm.
singing group, and they used to electrify the church every Sunday. So, and my father is an amazing singer, and that's
Mhm.
where my inspiration comes from. And yeah, so it really did start in the church, but I wasn't necessarily like an outgoing, I was more
Right.
introverted, reserved. I was like more
I
scared to
understand.
sing. Yeah. Once I got older, then I started to like really challenge myself to get out there. But yeah, other than that, it was
Well,
I would.
yeah, I know how it is. I had to push myself a lot as well, because people think that most artists are naturally outgoing,
Mm,
and that's not the
yeah, yeah,
case. Some of
definitely
the
not.
most talented people are very introverted and kind of shy, and withdrawn, um, in normal circumstances in life. And then we shine when we're on stage because that's where we feel comfortable at. Yeah, definitely. So I've heard some of your music and I really love it. I love your single, Check Up On Me. Definitely, you can tell people how they can, cop a copy of that
Yeah, yeah.
before we
So
get up
yeah,
here.
the link to that. That's the song. I haven't released a song before that for like over a
Hmm.
year. So I was just like, let me get this song out here because I was
Yeah.
working on Check Up on Me before the quarantine started,
Right.
and so once the quarantine wrapped, like, once things started to open back up, then I was like, okay, I need to push this song out. Like, so that's what I did. I finished recording, and then I pushed that out there just to give, people, my supporters the music and know that I'm
Hmm.
still, I'm still here, like,
Yes.
still doing this.
Yeah, the quarantine, it interfered with a lot of things that people were trying to do. But we, as you said, we can't let that stop us. We got to keep going. So you're an R&B artist mainly, right?
Yeah.
That's your genre. Are you interested in any other genres, or are you just going to stick with R&B?
Um,
We discussed the fact that you grew up in the church, but you didn't really sing in the church. Do you have any aspirations to eventually sing gospel music or sing some jazz or country western, whatever?
I
Because
feel like
basically, pretty much, black people invented all of it. So even classical music.
with gospel, it's like I feel like that I grew up with gospel music. I love gospel music.
Everybody.
I listen to gospel music to this day. But
Hmm.
it's like, to be perfectly honest, it's like unless I'm like, like living by what, the words that I'm singing, it's like I feel like, I probably shouldn't do it unless I'm like really at a
Right.
point where
I
it's like,
understand
okay,
that.
this is how I want to, like, I want this is I'm living by the Bible, and I feel like, not saying that I'm more spiritual than I am religious, but it's
No,
like
I
I
feel
feel
you,
like
man.
it's about the lifestyle. You gotta live. Like when you sing, there's truth in what you sing. If you're not living by what you're
Definitely.
singing and giving out to the people, then it's not real. So it's like
Yeah, I mean, I grew up in the church too and all that, and I'm not religious, so to speak, right now. I'm more spiritual, and I'm more aware of the original spiritual connection that we as melanated people, as black people, have to the universe and to the creator. We have a natural connection to to the creator. We're taught to look at God or the creator, whatever you want to call that energy, because it's an energy, it's a spirit. And some people want to put the label of just he on that spirit, but the spirit has both male and female in it.
yeah,
Um, so, they teach us to look at God as an outside entity. And I feel that's the reason why a lot of our people are lost, because they're searching for God out there and they don't realize that that spirit is actually in here, inside.
yeah,
And
yeah,
I feel like if more of us knew that that spirit was inside of us, we would be better off right now.
yeah, definitely. And actually, this year, on top of everything that was going on, with all of us being quarantined and just, you know what
Hmm.
I mean, and just spending more than enough quality time with ourselves,
Oh
just
yeah.
because. Um, I really struggle with my faith for a little bit,
Hmm.
just trying to like find, like even like spiritually, just really trying to, really make sense of everything. Just, but I feel like I'm back on path with that, but it was, a
Hmm.
scary, kind of a scary experience being that I was raised in a church, raised,
Right.
yeah,
Understand. Don't let it scare you though.
yeah.
Just be in tune with that. That's because that spirit does live inside of you. The
Oh
spirit
yeah,
of the creator
definitely.
lives inside of you. Um, we talked about the different genres and so forth. There was a question that I had in my mind. It just kind of popped out just like that. I forgot what I wanted to ask you. It's in reference to your music.
Yeah.
Um, but I also want to know, do you have any interest in other aspects of the entertainment industry and the arts, as far as acting and whatever else? Oh, that's what I meant to ask you.
Mhm. Yeah.
As far as being a singer, what's your favorite as far as recording and performing live? Do you enjoy up-tempo songs more or singing ballads more? What do you
I
feel?
honestly, I like both, and it's
Hmm.
my album that I'm working on now. I decided to do part one and part two. So part
Hmm.
one will be coming out in January,
Hmm.
and part one will be more like it's like a night and day version because I didn't know how to really put all of
Right.
the songs together and make it
Hmm.
and I just felt like it just wouldn't make sense if I put it all together. So I decided to
Yeah.
separate. So it's like a night and day version. It's like two completely different dynamics of who I
Hmm.
am as an artist. So the night version is just me being vulnerable, emotional, and real with my feelings and everything. And that's gonna be like, yeah, more like the ballads and
Yeah, because you
just
have to be more vulnerable with ballads as
yeah.
opposed to most of the time up tempo songs or just the
Mhm.
fun, get down, kind of,
Yeah.
partying type stuff.
Yeah, so that
Definitely.
one is just like really breaking down my feelings, my emotions, all that stuff. Part one, and then part
Hmm.
two would be more upbeat, something that you could dance and vibe to. Like so,
Right.
yeah, I decided to just release part one and two. So part one will be coming out in January of 2021. Can't wait.
Right.
And
Hmm.
then part two will be closer to spring. When people start
Okay.
getting lively and everything. So
Cool. I mean, there was a ballad that I heard you put a little sample out there of a couple of months ago. I don't know if I can get you to sing a little bit of it later on if you know what I'm talking about.
wait,
Hopefully,
what was that?
we'll
I'm
get you.
sorry.
There was you had showed a clip of yourself singing a song in the studio, and it was a ballad. It
Oh,
was like a little snippet of it, and I liked what I heard. So, um, I was wondering if possibly we could get a little taste of that before you go today. Hopefully hear some of it. Um,
oh. I mean, I don't think
everybody,
because I don't know how to like play it with my
okay.
phone. I'm already using my phone, but yeah, that
Or
song I
just
think you're talking about, "Broken." That's definitely
mhm,
gonna be on part one. It's more of like it's low key. It's just really I really wanted to put a lot of emphasis on the vocals and the
mhm,
emotions.
right.
So yeah,
Well,
that's what
well,
I
you
think.
can sing. You can sing a couple of bars a cappella. I know you got it like that. You can sing. I heard you sing a cappella, so I know you can. You got it like that, definitely.
Uh, yeah, yeah. I mean, I can probably
So why
not.
you say it like that? You hesitate.
No, because
I,
I don't know. I just like I just feel like I'm not like prepared like right now to do that.
okay, I understand. But I was asking you about getting into other, uh, sections of the entertainment industry, be it being into acting or whatever and stuff like that. Do you have any interest in those things at all? In acting,
But yeah, so
directing, producing?
my first love is music and everything, but I did want to dabble with acting just because I found it like pretty hard. Like when I'm doing like videos, like music videos, sometimes it's like really hard to connect with
Right.
like with the
Hmm.
whole being in front of a camera and
Yeah.
like playing a role. So because
Hmm.
of that, it's like I did want to do some acting and get that experience.
Oh, it's all connected, definitely, because when you're singing, you're telling a story.
Yeah,
You're singing a song is just telling the story through music. So you have to be able to connect with whatever character, whatever emotions you're trying to convey. And when you're doing these videos, you have to be able to deliver that. And so the audience will feel it. As an actor, some people think that it's just getting up on stage or on screen and just reciting some lines, but there's so much more to it than that. You have to actually do research and you have to delve into the mind of the character. You have to feel the character and become the character. So it's not just getting up there and just reading, lines off of a page. You have to actually feel it
definitely.
and
Yes.
become it. It's very important. And you and I had a discussion earlier. I don't want it to get too heavy and too serious, but this is something that needs to be talked about because a lot of our people deal with it, especially living in this society, dealing with things we got to deal with just as Black people living in a racist society every day. A lot of our people do live with different levels of post-traumatic stress disorder
Mm-hmm.
or anxiety and depression and so forth, because I myself have dealt with that. I used to deal with suicidal thoughts and stuff like that because I went through a lot of traumatic stuff growing up and in my beginning of my adulthood. But I don't have suicidal thoughts anymore, but I still deal with anxiety and I also still deal with depression. And sometimes some people think it's just sitting around being sad. Sometimes it just comes out of nowhere because I was in a show back in 2018, a musical called Ain't Misbehaving. And I was backstage and I was fine up until like 5 minutes before it was time to go on stage.
Yeah.
And then this feeling just came over me and I just felt I
Because
didn't feel good.
you felt like overwhelmed, right? And it's
I
like
felt
it's
overwhelmed and down. Yeah. And so I went out on stage and it was like I was having an out of body experience because I'm up here on the stage singing and dancing and I was in my head while I was performing. The whole time I was performing, I was telling myself, because I sometimes I'm critical about myself. And so I was in my head saying, you're not doing good right now. You sound horrible and stuff like that. And, after the show, I talked to the director and everything. He said, and I told him what I was going through. He said, are you kidding? He said, that was like one of your best performances or something like that. He said to me. And some of my other friends who came to see the show that night, they said they didn't notice anything either, but I was like inside of my head the whole time I was up there performing. I was critiquing myself and feeling down on myself the whole time I was up there.
Mhm.
Um,
I do
so
the same thing. Like I'm a perfectionist, so it's like
hmm
yeah, but I understand like kind of like holding that anxiety burden and just yeah, because
yeah,
that
yeah,
is something that I personally deal with. Like, and it's I've always knew I had anxiety and I struggle with depression and everything, but it's always been manageable.
right.
But in this particular time, especially with everything going on, it's just like it's really become like overwhelming. And
hmm
yeah, and unfortunately, anxiety isn't something that just goes away. It's
Right.
something that you have to learn how to maneuver with in your life. So,
Yeah,
like right now, I'm still struggling with it. I'm still
I understand.
learning how to deal with it. And I'm not going to act like I'm perfect. I'm not
hmm
going to act like I have it together. But like one thing that I know that helps is just having someone to confide in. Make sure you have someone that you
Very
can
important.
talk to about
Hmm
your feelings because even with me, it's like I bottle everything in. I've
Right.
always been that way. And I feel like, a lot of black people are like that, where we feel like,
hmm
like just being vulnerable takes away from our masculinity,
Right.
just as men. But
What zodiac sign are you again?
I'm a Gemini.
Oh, okay. I don't know why I thought you were the same sign as me. I'm a Virgo. But yeah, I hold in a lot of things too, and people, actually people are very surprised when they find out that I am a performer because I'm normally quiet and laid back, and
Mm.
when I go out, I'm a wallflower up against the wall, hiding in the corner, and I know some people who are in the arts who act like they're on stage 24/7. They're always, loud and
On a
whatever.
hundred.
Huh? Yeah.
Always on 100,
They
yeah.
kind of irritate me, to be honest. But I can't stand when somebody acts like they're on stage 24/7.
I
But
mean,
I understand.
it's pretty entertaining. But
Right.
yeah, sometimes it could, for me, I'm just like the person, just like you, I'm just like the person that's just like on the side,
Laid back.
trying to
Yeah.
protect my energy. I'm over
hmm
here minding my business. Yeah, that's
Right. Exactly. So, as I know earlier, you talked about you were dealing with the anxiety and stuff, and you had to push yourself. And I know how it is. You have to make yourself do things, even though it's stuff that you love. You still got to push yourself um, to make it happen. And it's not easy at all, you know. But I'm very impressed with you. I'm very impressed with your music. The
Thank you.
selections that I've heard so far, very good, very good, very talented. Hopefully, maybe one day we can work together at some point
Oh
in the
yeah,
future.
definitely. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. And we both share a love and a passion for, in addition to being in the performing arts, we both share a love and a passion and a concern for our people.
Hmm.
Um, and a lot of people take me wrong because I say I put black people first, and because I say I put black people first and I'm not really concerned about anybody else, people take that as me being hateful, which I'm far from being a hateful person. I'm not sitting around hating anybody. I'm not wishing anybody any harm. But what I'm saying is that I put our people first, and I can't be concerned with other people at this time until our people are in a healthy, healed, and whole place. Because right now we're broken. Like for instance, someone sent me an invite to this page, and it was basically about healing race relations, right? And I didn't accept the invite to it because I feel like race relations is not our problem. because we as black people are not the ones out here causing the discord with other races. We get along fine with other races. We're not trying to stop them from living their lives or stop them from thriving. They're the ones trying to stop us from
Yeah,
thriving.
yeah.
So I don't feel like I need to go the extra mile to try to fix race relations. Right now, my concern is how we relate to one another as black people,
Mhm.
because we treat other races better than we treat our own people. And that stems from Willie Lynch syndrome, and Stockholm syndrome, and the self-hatred that's instilled in our people that a lot of our people have and don't even realize that it's there,
Mhm.
because that self-hatred actually starts early. Are you familiar with the doll test?
I'm not.
Well, the doll test was actually something that they did a long time ago, decades ago, I think like back in the 50s, but they also did one again in like 2010 or 11. They did it again. And basically what it is, they take a black doll and a white doll and they put it in front of these little black children. And when they ask the children which doll is pretty and good and nice and smart, they pick the white doll.
I think I've seen
Yeah,
that. I've seen a video of
right.
that.
Right. And then when they ask these same black children which doll is negative things, such as being bad and dumb and ugly and so forth, they pick the black doll,
Hmm.
which says that our beautiful black children, our babies are growing up thinking less of themselves, thinking that they're less than white folks, which is not cool. We have to be very intentional to teach our black children to love the skin of their and to love their hair and everything else. Um, but we don't tend to do that. I hear a lot of black people say that my parents raised me to love everybody. Um, and when they say that, I don't think it's true. I think basically their parents taught them to love everyone else except black people, because I see black people um, showing compassion and understanding and forgiveness to everyone else who's not black. But when it comes to other black people, we don't tend to show that same compassion and understanding to our own people. We tend to be quick to cut our own people down or to hold a grudge over petty things. But we'll forgive anybody else who's not black for all types of horrible things.
Yeah, I definitely know what you're talking about. Like it's always been, that's always been transparent to me. Like
Hmm.
I feel like you and I, like we're woke. Like we see what it is. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
and we talked about it earlier about how we're both empaths, so
Hmm.
we just feel that we feel it, the energy, and just
Yeah.
like all of the things that come with the issues within the black community and the things that are against the black community on the outside. Like our emotions, we feel it 10 times more than the average person. So it's like I truly just want to see black people heal, and it's
Yeah.
important to just speak on it and talk. Like I'm not afraid to speak up on things that are uncomfortable to talk about.
Me neither. I want to see us happy, healthy, healed, and whole.
Yeah, yeah.
That's all. And that's why I create the type of scripts that I do. Being a screenwriter and being an actor, that's why I create what I do. And I'm trying to cast for my next film project, actually, which will develop into a series, which is a very important project, which I tag you in. And I know you said you never acted before. Um, and I don't know if you started working on a monologue or not to send to me. I'm not putting you on the spot, but but this it's a very important project. My goal with this particular project, because I see the division. There's an agenda to keep us divided as a people, because I see black men attacking black women. I see black women attacking black men.
Oh yeah.
I see black men attacking other black men, and black women attacking other black women. But guess who we letting off the hook for everything that they do to us? We let who off the hook for whatever they
Yeah,
do,
yeah.
but we continue to attack each other. So with this project, I want to show a brotherhood between these black men who come from different backgrounds, because three of the guys are same gender loving and two of them are heterosexual and one is bisexual, but they have a brotherhood and they don't let the fact that they have a different sexual orientation separate them or keep them separated. They're all realize that they're black men and they're all there to help their people. And
Yeah.
so it's a very important project to show this. And it also shows a different side of same-gender loving black men because I'm not, I don't knock the stereotypes, but I get taught to just only seeing just the stereotypes, if you know what I mean by that.
Mhm.
Because we as same-gender loving black men, we don't all act the same, we don't all carry ourselves the same, and we don't all speak the same. And when they show portrayals of same-gender loving black men, um, it's normally a stereotype. It's always the loud, over the top portrayals. They don't just show regular guys or whatever you want to call it that may be same-gender loving who are not on the DL. They're not ashamed of who they are, but they're not necessarily loud and over the top with it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like I said, I'm not knocking anybody who may fit that portrayal, but we all don't fit that portrayal. And I have some friends that fit the stereotype, but we don't all fit the stereotype. I know we got to be careful what we say today because people get offended really quickly over everything.
Oh, oh yeah.
So,
Yeah.
um, right. So I'm very careful, try to be very careful with what I say. Um, you know,
Yeah, but that's actually what I like. That's what I like about following you because like you talk about the things that need to be talked about. You know what I mean? And you
yes,
stand up for the community, and I feel like that's important. So I admire that about you. It's just
thank you.
it's important. These are just it's unfortunate the state of the black community, and we have
Hmm.
genuine love for the community, and we want to see us grow. We want to see, us be as solid as other races. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
it seems like, looking on the outside, every race seems to stick together for the most part and, what I mean, support each other. And you know what I mean? But within the black community, there's just so many like hurtful, like issues that are going on within.
Hmm.
Not just, I'm not even worried about the outside. I'm concerned about the inside, what we're doing to each other.
Well, you have to realize that our people went through 400 years of abuse
Mhm.
of all types of things.
Oh yeah, I know
Um,
that. I know
that
that.
not just the women being raped, the men being raped, and the children being raped because they would take the strongest black man who wanted to fight back and they would rape him in front of his woman and his children to further humiliate him and to dehumanize him and degrade him, which has caused a lot of problems. Then they would also, mate our people, no, not breed our people rather, like cattle. You know how they would make um, sons, impregnate their mothers, and fathers impregnate their daughters. They would force them to do that, to make them new slaves. And so we have a whole lot of trauma going on that was never healed,
Yeah.
and that trauma has been passed down from
Yeah.
generation to generation
Yeah,
with no with
I
yeah.
think it gets, people when you bring up those like that, we don't it's not like that anymore.
Hmm.
But I always say, I'm not living in a victim mindset. It's
Right.
like
How you
the
doing,
black
John?
community is still healing from the trauma of everything that our
Yeah.
ancestors went through. We may not have been through it, but we're still healing from that and we're still
Hmm.
recovering.
Yeah.
And it's very obvious that we're still recovering from that. If you look at the state of our community, you know what I
Hmm.
mean. So I hate when I bring it up or like when I talk about things like that are relevant to why the black community is in the state that it is in. It's like people say, "Oh, you live in a victim mindset." I'm just like,
Right.
we still are the
Um,
victim. We may not, we don't,
right.
we're not enduring the same pain as our ancestors,
Hmm.
and I'm not trying to say that, but we are still recovering. You know what I
Right.
mean? Yeah,
Yeah. A lot of black people don't want to hear it, and they're like, "Oh, not that again."
yeah,
Because basically, I started a black theater company like almost 5 years ago. Well, we were interrupted in year four with this COVID thing. But if you look at the logo of my black theater company, it's like a flag, and it represents the different hues of black people, from the darkest to all the shades in between to the lightest of black people. And then basically the name of my theater company, well, it's a long name, but I'll give you the short version. is Royal Hughes Melanin Manor. Um, Royal Hughes Melanin Manor, and I started that because I wanted to use the arts to heal our people because the arts are a powerful medium and theater arts are very powerful in changing people's minds and so forth and reaching people. And so I still to this day, I don't maybe see it as much, but still to this day you hear people say dumb stuff like, team dark skin and team light skin and stuff like that and still putting us against each other based on complexion.
And
Um,
that's crazy because on the outside the black community, it
mhm,
don't matter what your shade.
right.
You're black. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? It's that only lives within our community, and it's like
Hmm.
that's just a way that we try to feel superior than the next,
Right.
we try to like fantasize,
Hmm.
being more, closer to European features than the
Right.
next. You know what I mean? And it's just like it's so sad because it doesn't matter what shade you are, you're beautiful, and people need to
Hmm.
wake up to that. People need to wake up to their beauty, their strength, their power. You know what I mean? It doesn't
Right.
matter what complexion you are. I don't,
Yeah,
like you're my brother whether you're light or you're dark.
I agree. And so that's why I try to create the type of things that I do to try to bring us together as a people. I'm not focused on hating anybody. I'm
Mm.
focused on loving us. And
Like,
because I'm focused on loving us and I'm not concerned with other people outside of us, that's seen as being hateful. But I'm not out here mistreating anyone.
yeah,
I just
pro
want to
black
see.
pro black doesn't mean anti-white or anti
Hmm.
anything else. It's just I mean
Right.
you
Right.
stand 100% behind your people, and yeah,
Right.
I understand that.
Yeah, because like when I say things like I'm not going to do certain things. Like when it comes to like doing movies and stuff like that, I'm not going to do anything where, and it's not being hateful because representation and optics and image are very important. And so I boldly say that I'm not going to do anything like, um, an interracial love story or whatever. I'm not going to be seen on screen, you know, kissing somebody of another race and stuff like that, because that's not what I'm trying to put out there. I'm trying to promote black love because black love is under attack.
Mm.
Black love is under attack, and they don't want to show any form of really strong black love, whether it be between a black man and a black woman, whether it be between two black men or two black women, or whatever. They don't want to show positive, strong black love. The only time you may see something that looks like a black relationship that might be okay, it's always set to a laugh track, if you know what I mean. It's always a sitcom. But there really are no like strong dramas that show healthy relationships between black people. It's always mostly the dysfunctional things that are focused on.
Yeah,
Um,
representation is definitely like very important. So
Yeah, and even Denzel Washington once said, until Spike Lee recently got him to do that, about that, he said that he would never do a love scene with a white woman out of respect for black women. He
oh
didn't
yeah.
want to put that in black women's face. And there was another actor who did the same thing, and I think he was kind of blacklisted because of the fact that he did that. But it's not about hatred. It's about trying to show respect
Mhm.
for our people, and also black children growing up need to see images
Yeah, yeah.
of black people loving each other and black people working together. Like when I say I want an all black production company or all black production team for my film projects, it's not because I'm being hateful. It's because I love my people. I love our people, and black children need to.
You want to create spaces for
Right,
people. There's nothing wrong with that. We
right,
need
and
those spaces. We're still
right,
fighting, white supremacy. We're still fighting racism. You know what I mean? Like it's
right,
important for us to start building up the black community.
right,
Creating our spaces.
and I've heard some black people say things like, "I hate working with other black people," and that bothers me when I hear that. It hurts me when I hear black people say they hate working with other black people. Um, and so that's why it's important to create spaces where you do see an all black team, or all black production team and stuff like that, because black children need to grow up seeing that. And that's another one of my main concerns because I don't want another generation of black children to grow up um, under this oppressive system. I I describe it as we shouldn't be passing on the torch of oppression to another generation of black children. And you know about that conversation that black parents have with their children. Some black people have, you know, accepted it as just how things are going to be, but I don't want us to just accept that. You know, the conversation that black parents have with their children about be careful when you go out there if you run into the police, basically teaching our black children that they have to be wary of those who take a vow to protect and serve everyone, but they're not all there to protect and serve us. So we basically tell our children that they have to, if they run into the police, be as nice as possible, talk in as calm a voice as possible, because you don't want to upset them, because we want you to make it home okay. And even sometimes they can be as nice as can be, and still they end up dead, um, because it's not always about just being nice. There's some people on the police force, they join the police force for that purpose of harming black people.
Mm.
Because the police forces in this country, you know how they say that um, racists infiltrated the police forces, but that's not true. Um, the police forces in this country started off by racists. They started off as slave patrol. I don't know if you knew that or not, but it started off as slave patrol. The police forces in this country started off as a means to catch runaway slaves. Um, and so they've always been in the police force, always been in the police force.
Yeah.
And so yeah, and I know we getting heavy with all this, so,
No, you're good.
but you know, it's important to talk about, and you know, I know we talked about the anxiety thing because that was one thing that I meant to mention because it was a few months ago back in February before all this COVID thing really shut everything down. I was having a moment where I posted on Facebook that I wasn't okay. I just posted I'm not okay today, and most people ignored it. Most people ignored it. They didn't say anything. But they can come through and argue with me if I post something about Joe Biden or whatever. Then they'll argue with me about it.
Yeah.
But when I say that I'm not feeling good today, I'm not in a good spirit today, they ignore that. Don't care. So um,
I
and
know
as
that.
and as the day progressed, my nerves were just more and more on edge. And like 2 o'clock in the morning, I was like really emotional. And I ended up talking to a friend of mine on the phone, fortunately, because I was like so upset and intense. I started crying and everything. And I'm like, I can't take this anymore. It was dealing with this whole thing of the constant seeing black people being murdered every day on the street and nothing happens. Nobody is punished for it. And then you know, I know that a lot of people like to bring up black on black crime, as they like to call
Mhm.
it, right?
Yeah.
And they like to say, "What about black on black crime?" But what they don't realize is that that's a conditioning. Black people didn't always commit crimes against each other like that. Um, you know, it's the conditioning of the situation that we've been put in through systemic racism and you know, the planting of drugs being intentionally planted in our neighborhoods and other things that were intentionally aimed at us to keep us down.
Yeah.
Um, you know, but whatever we do gets a label on it, you know, because Caucasians kill each other every day. They
Actually,
kill,
at a higher rate than black.
yeah, at a higher rate, but when that happens, it's never called white on white crime. But when the black people do it, it has the label of black on black just to make it seem like we're the only ones doing this to our own people. And, you know, it's
Yeah, it's it can be a lot to bear, especially like, with us being an impasse. It's important to, we have that love for our community, but you know what I mean? Sometimes we have to protect our energy too. Like I had to
yeah,
pull back from social media because it was getting to a point where I just needed to break down. Like I
right.
couldn't take anymore, So it's
Mhm.
just, just because I'm so connected,
Yeah,
to like, the feelings of it. So it's really sad, and it's like we have to continue to do what we're doing now, talking about it.
right.
Spread the word, and like you're definitely, one of those people that I admire that that do that.
Like I
Really
admire you as well.
get it out there, get the word out there. get our community to wake up and
Hmm.
see our strength and what I mean, and recognize that
Right. I just want us to be great again. Not talking about America, because America was never great. I'm talking about our people being great again, because what we don't realize is that if you really look at it, most of the things, the inventions in this world today that help make the quality of life easier, they were invented by black people
Mhm.
or someone of African descent, including this thing, that we're on right now, the internet. That was, invented by, I believe, a Nigerian brother or somebody from Ethiopia. And the cell phone was invented by someone, black. And so actually, as quiet as it's kept, the original telephone was also invented by a black man. Someone else took credit for it, but it was actually invented by, Lewis Latimer, who was a black man, the original telephone.
Yeah,
Um, all types of things were invented by black people. The GPS system and, um, plumbing, plumbing, and the toilet, all that kind of stuff was invented by people of African descent. So without us in this world, things would be a lot different and not for the better. Um, we add a lot of great things to this world, and it's a shame that our people don't realize that. uh, you know, the greatness that we come from. And that's all I want us to see the greatness in each other as a people. And I do feel other people's pain and other people's energy. Um, and so it's not easy at all. And that's how come I'm able to still be forgiving and still to, root for. I'm able to still say congratulations to another black person who may have done something wrong.
yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
I still root for them and want them to do well. And a lot of people nowadays don't. They don't have that type of capability,
Yeah.
because if you disagree with them on one thing, if you just disagree with them on one thing, they don't want to, support you anymore or show you anything positive. Um,
I feel like, yeah, it's important to it's important to be understanding and empathize. Like, I've always been able to empathize with the next
mhm.
black man. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
even if you do me wrong,
Hmm.
I'm still going to wish you all the best. I'm still going to uplift you. I'm still going to,
Right.
what I mean, be on your side. I'm never going to be like that person that turns against,
Right. Because
yeah,
yeah, we realize that it's not always, even though they may have done us wrong, it's not always about us. It's about, some undiagnosed or untreated trauma that they may have suffered.
yeah, and
And the
yeah,
way that, yeah, the way that they're reacting to you is just that trauma that they never, got healed. Um, and like they say, hurt people.
yeah.
And a lot of black people are running around out here hurt and need their minds healed and reprogrammed and so forth. Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah,
So, you said that we're getting back to your music now. I think we spent enough time on that. People were like, that's all serious. But I'm sure people they know they need to hear it. A lot of people need to hear it and want to hear it.
Mhm.
So you said that your CD will be coming out when exactly?
Yeah, so part one will be released in January, sometime in January. So
Okay.
the songs are done. I have to do like my last, finishing touches to the songs and just, critiquing, just trying to make it, um, you know, the best it can be before I like really put it out there because the songs are
Mhm.
done for the most part. It's just
Oh, definitely.
just really just kind of doing my revisions.
And so y'all be out on the lookout, y'all, for D Martin's, CD coming up in January 2021. Yeah, definitely. So I don't know. Are you up to singing anything? Just a few bars, not a whole song.
Mm,
I mean, I know you said that you don't know if you feel up to it right now. You don't.
yeah,
Uh,
because like
uh,
yeah, we I talked earlier about like just all day I just felt like really overwhelmed and
mhm.
just I had to
I
like
understand.
yeah
I
I,
totally understand that.
yeah I had to pull back and I just
Hmm.
let's see. Hmm. All right, so Sorry, I'm like choosing between like two different songs that I wrote.
Okay.
All right, and I'm really not prepared to sing, but here goes nothing. Um,
Don't say nothing. Go, don't say that, bro. Don't say that. Go ahead and let him have it. Show him what you got. I know you can sing, bro.
Ain't no need for searching, you found a real one. And I know you're hurting, but he was real dumb. 'Cause you're so deserving of love and then some, yeah. So I know for certain it should be you and I. And I ain't gonna lie, it's hard to get by without you on my side. So if you wanna let loose and have a good time, I'm one call away, baby, in my
All
life.
right.
Yeah, so that's check up
I
on
hear
me.
it. I hear it.
Yeah, the link
Yeah.
to that is in my bio. So yeah, if you want to support, make sure you yeah download that.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely try to put it up in here somewhere. The link to that to your song.
Oh
People
yeah,
need to hear
definitely.
that. Definitely. It's a very good song. You can groove to it. I like it a lot.
Yeah, yeah. This one's
Definitely.
yeah one of my more upbeat songs. Yeah,
Okay. Cool. So, is there anything else you would like the audience to know before we cut out of here?
yeah. Again, make sure you follow. The link to my song "Check Up on Me," like my latest song, is in my bio. I am currently working on an album. Part one is
Mhm.
coming out in January 2021,
January 2021, y'all.
and then part two, which will be like when it's the summer hits, time to start dancing, you're gonna get part two. So it's definitely gonna
Mhm.
be. I'm excited, and I really appreciate everyone that is tuned in and that support me and back me up. Yeah,
All right, you're going to get that support, man. You deserve it. You're a very talented brother, and I'm rooting for you all the way. Everybody, be out on the lookout on November the 11th at 6:30 p.m. for the next episode of the TheCnote, which I'll let y'all know about later on, maybe later tonight. But be sure to be on the lookout for Mr. D. Martin CD in January of 2021. You're going to want to get that. I know the brother has a lot of talent. I've heard him sing. I heard him sing that ballad that I was talking about earlier. You're gonna love it. I could feel the emotion in that ballad when you were singing just that little snippet on that. Definitely, I could feel it. Um, and I
thank
thank
you.
you. I thank you for being here. I thank you for being a guest on the C Note, and hopefully you'll come back again.
Yeah, of course.
Um, and I am looking forward to working with you on different projects and so forth. And you know, thank you, man.
Definitely, and keep being the way you are. Stay the way you are. Keep on spreading
Thank
love,
you.
positivity. Definitely enjoy following you, and yeah.
Same here with you, man. You keep being you. You're a great brother, a fellow Black king, and I admire you as well, and I honor you. Thank you for being here, and thank you, everybody, for watching the C Note. See you next time on the C Note. Bye. See you, brother.
See ya.
Peace and love. All right.